My name is Daryl Balzrina. I've been at Brady Corporation for 4 years now. Brady Corporation gets into manufacturing printers and labels. It's like probably their main niche. They also get a lot of different MRO supplies and stuff like that. And we import and export, a global company, 1.4 billion in sales, I think it is. And we import and export through a lot of our distribution centers. And for my role, I'm logistics manager at Brady Corporation. So I mainly manage the North America's, like what's called spend and programs within the Brady Corporation. And there's locations globally. I wish I had the stats in front of me. It's like 34 different countries or something like that. And so then basically reviewing all modes, LTL, parcel, truckload, like you mentioned, imports and exports is big for us. But yeah, that's my role at Brady Corporation. What's unique and interesting about my role is we manage it internally with like the subsets and services of like third-party offerings. We don't necessarily have like a traditional 3PL or freight forwarder, but we do have auditing services. So what brought us and what was curious and from our interested standpoint of what our needs were was related to audit as well as a stronger TMS system. So when I came to Brady 4 years ago, the TMS system that they had was very archaic. It was, it was a legacy program that they had, a local company out of Wisconsin. And there was a lot of opportunities with it. As we grow, we wanted to make sure that we stay with the market, being competitive with the other TMSs out there. And basically the rate shopping was just, it was very, let's call it like, not Sesame Street, but very basic. And we're just like, we know technology can get us to where we need to get to. So then we looked at that, and then we also had other auditing parties that we do internally. So we have freight services in our India team that's like kind of auditing a lot of our freight invoices, and the support there is like very manual that we had to go through. So then when we looked at the solution without having the full on, like the 3PL agent being able to do all the other functions of like basically my role, it was a good fit because it was a software play, as well as the services behind it was very well supported. Another play too that we were looking for, we were trying to improve our service with the previous team that we had. Just because it was, as we grew, we expected more, and a smaller company basically could not meet our demands for that. So, but it's been a good fit for that. And basically, when we kind of peek behind the door and be able to see what RateLinx offers, outside of just like the ShipLinx and the audit and everything else, then we started expanding and we started to grow and customizing reports. A big factor that I really liked was before I would go to my India team that has all of my freight invoices and be like, hey, how much do we ship in LTL? Like, who's my top carriers and all that kind of stuff. It would take a day or two for that turnaround. And just basically because they're going through freight data and trying to pull up reports, all Excel, a lot of basic stuff. And what was nice was having the dynamic reports with RateLinx. It's at my fingertips. And I can just basically, boom, I know exactly what I'm spending. So that's been a huge benefit for us. But yeah, so that's the needs got satisfied, and we continue to grow with RateLinx, so it's good. The TMS portal that we have for a lot of our communication for our shipments inbound. So like we have a vendor shipping to Brady, and we have probably like around 8 or so major distribution centers within the United States. A lot of vendors shipping to them basically didn't have clear instructions. They were using legacy carriers. We weren't really able to track like the cost-saving opportunity or being optimal carrier services. So not having that tool before, now we do have it, has been able to automate a lot of that. And we definitely seen us being more compliant, our vendors being compliant. And then once we start training, and it's very easy, that was really nice too, is like we put together a pretty good like instruction portal to our vendors, like, hey, this is how you use the RateLinx portal. And they've been able to go in, and it's been pretty seamless from that. So that's been good to have that communication, get more adherence to always picking the lowest cost carrier. The big part, kind of clicking into the RFP side of it, what was nice with that part was we were doing that manual before. So we would be talking to our carriers directly, trying to use a very old Zarlite. And I think this opened our eyes up with using the carry rate base. It's something that we never really entertained before. And it's kind of new when I got introduced to Shannon. He was kind of like explaining the benefit from it. And we've already seen it from that standpoint. So the RFP was done manually before, and now it's been a huge help from my side too. I can relieve basically a lot of my time to be able to go through and dive into the data. I can have RateLinx help us support with that and be able to really pinpoint where the savings are and where the better carriers are, and be able to adjust the cost that way. and be able to forecast that way too. I have a counterpart. He does the truckload auctions. One of my next year's goals is to incorporate the international stuff with because I know there is a template out there, and I think with my rep, I'm be able to work on improving that too, because it's kind of basic from what I've seen, but I'm doing that manual right now. So like my imports and exports, spot quote, let's call it, is all done on a manual basis. I want to move over to the RateLinx side, but the truckload has been seamless for like a year and a half now, when that was done manual before too. For our freight, it's kind of diverse, meaning like we have small packages, we have a lot of larger shipments we ship to a lot of distribution centers for some of our clients. So I would say it's pretty basic from like the freight perspective of a characteristic, but like nothing unique to like Brady per se. And for where I came from before Brady, it was the same kind of concept. I knew when I saw what your RateLinx was offering that it would be a good solution for what we were looking for. So there's a lot of errors we saved. I mentioned the time already for the RFP, like that myself, and then from my time, as well as our team in India doing the audit before, a lot of that was now it's eliminated. So that was a huge reduction from like this, it's called soft indirect costs. The actual hard savings, obviously LTL rates was comparing year over year was a big one for us. So that was a big benefit on that side. And then a lot of automation, just like I mentioned before, like looking up the reports to have the numbers at my fingertips is like so beneficial. The dashboard's been nice. I'm working with RateLinx to be able to improve that as well, to exactly cater to what I was looking for. So, but there's, outside of the savings for the indirect work, I'll call it, the hard savings is there too as well. When we came from our older TMS system, again, I mentioned it before, the service wasn't adequate at what we want. Just kind of like rude behavior and stuff like that. So when we just, speaking on the personal side of it, it was a fresh breath of air to come in to have a good representation from the RateLinx team. And I've actually went through 2 different reps, just from promotions internally or whatever it was within RateLinx, and it was a seamless transition. Even when my account rep is out, I have someone to back them up, and they can just jump right into their Brady account and be able to help us out. So that part has been nice. It's been unique to also work at different representation of the functions. I worked with a different person for the RFP side, and then on my account management side of just like the configurations of like, the tools I have, and then I have the audit side too as well, like checking out all the audits, making sure all those, checking those boxes, everything else. So it's been, and then they work all together very nice with Brady. So it's unique. Again, there's a lot of 3PLs out there, and they all have their different advantages and pros and cons. But what I like about this solution is you can manage it internally the best way, and you have all the data there, and it's a data-driven solution that eventually like helps us and people in my role make these good decisions, executive strategy decisions, and be able to find opportunities with the different logistic programs, whether it be LTL, parcel, whatever it might be. And it's a good niche versus just like, here you go, hand it to someone else, have them manage it all, and then you tell me this, and that, and then the cost obviously too. So it's a big difference in that. So it's nice to be able to control that. And be able to work with the RateLinx team to have that. And I highly suggest RateLinx if you're looking for some niche like that. Exactly. If it's us perfect at Brady.